Hey everyone, and welcome back to Farm Girl in Progress. I am Nadine, and we have some work to do outside in the chicken coop. But first, turkey babies! Look at how big they've gotten, guys. Soon they'll be big enough to go outside in the turkey tractor that we're building for them. I will be posting videos on that shortly. We just have a little bit more work to do on there.
Hey, Stripes. Hey, Snorrock.
So yeah, I thought I would just give you guys a little bit of an update on how the turkeys are doing.
Hey, Mom.
Here's the baby chicks. They're getting big too, so they'll be going outside to the brooder soon once they have a little bit more feathers. Alright, so we're gonna finish up with the turkeys here, and then I'll meet you guys outside. Alright, we are heading out to the chicken coop now. It's a little bit of a rainy day, so this is a good project to do today.
Hi.
We picked up some hinges at Lowe's. We're gonna go and make the other brooder door functional because right now it's just screwed into the 2x4s, but I really need to access the other side of that brooder so that I can add some more bedding. So yeah, I figured that would be just a good little project to do today while it was raining. So let's go ahead and head out to the chicken coop. Okay, so here is our brooder situation. This door currently works, but we need to make this door work so that I can access this side of the brooder and add some more bedding, because like I said, right now it's just screwed into the 2x4s here, so we're gonna make that functional. So let's go ahead and get this door working, and then I'll give you guys a tour of my chicken coop. Okay, so we finally got that door working. It took a little bit of team effort and some makeshift shims to lift the door up.
Hi.
I'm my big helper. Okay, so now that the door is done and working, let's go ahead and give you a tour of our chicken coop.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is our chicken coop. The coop is here. It is 8 foot by 8 foot. In size. This side is 6 feet tall, this side is 8 feet tall, and then here is the chicken run. It goes all the way back. I'll show you that in a minute. So this chicken coop was actually, for the most part, all repurposed material. The 2x4s and 2x6s I found at one of our not so close neighbors had a barn collapse, and I asked him if he was going to use the wood for anything, and if not, if I could use it for the chicken coop. So he said sure, and I was able to, I guess you could say, harvest all of my 2x4s for the framing of my chicken coop. And then this window is actually from our house. When we replaced all of our windows, I asked if I could keep this little one for the chicken coop. So that's from our house. And then this is an original door from our house that we found in our garage when we moved here. So it's pretty cool. And then the tongue and groove siding my husband got for super, super cheap. All right, so inside of our chicken coop is our roosting area.
And as you saw that we built a gate.
Yep, we got the door working, so our brooders underneath our roosting area. And the chickens have kind of got a mess, so I need to clean it. So don't mind their mess. But this is a...
One of our chickens ate one of Lemon Drop's eggs.
Okay, so this is a sand platform. I put like a coarse sand down, and it acts kind of like a kitty litter for chickens. And then here's their roost. And then off to the side here, we've got, hi ladies, their nesting boxes, which need cleaned and filled with some new hay. We are going to be doing some spring cleaning of the coop very soon, so everything in here is going to get a good cleaning. But the baskets are just baskets that we found from the Dollar Tree. The plywood is just some scrap plywood that we had laying around, and we just kind of whipped it together. This is from the roofing up there, so it's just a cut-off piece of the roofing we used.
Look how long their neck is. It's longer.
Come on, scooch out of the way. And then this is the brooder that we put underneath the roost. And if we needed to, I could split it in half and have 2 brooders or a sick bay or something along those lines. And one side I have a roost. I will be putting a roost over here.
Whenever our chickies end up outside.
And then there's the door for the ladies, and then I just have an old cabinet up here for some storage, which I'll probably be moving as well.
Look!
It's just storage for stuff. Okay, and then I just have a trash can here for their food, of which I'm probably going to be moving out of here because they keep pooping on it.
Well, it's still
So yeah, that is the inside.
shows on it inside.
So that is the inside of our 8x8 chicken coop. I really enjoy the coop that we've built. However, after having some experience inside the coop and having chickens in here, there are some things that I would absolutely change to make things a little bit easier, a little bit more functional, and possibly even a little bit cleaner. So the first thing that I probably would change about this coop is, first of all, making it a little bit bigger. I probably should have made it more of 8x10 or even 10x10 in size, because chicken math. You don't just start off with, a couple chickens and then that's it. I have grown from, just a few to now 28 chickens, and having a bigger chicken coop would be amazing, and it would give me a little bit more space to work with. So that's the first thing that I probably would have changed about this particular coop. Had I made this chicken coop 8 foot by 10 foot, I would have been able to cut the coop in half, essentially from one side to the other, and made this front entrance a storage area basically for myself. So this would have been walled off with access to like the roost area up top. And then I wouldn't have to be walking on their bedding to get into the eggs or any of that. So that's something that I probably would have done if I had made this coop a little bit bigger than I did. Now, regardless of making this coop bigger, I should have made this tray here deeper. So I probably should have brought it out to about here and made it probably closer to 3 or 4 feet, so half of the width of my coop, and that way I could have had more roosts in here for my chickens. This is an 8-foot roost, and generally speaking you want 1 foot of space per chicken. So seeing as I have 28 chickens, this roost is not going to be big enough. So I'm gonna have to jimmy rig some sort of a way to get more roost space in here, so that all of my chickens can roost comfortably without feeling cramped. and uncomfortable. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is do corner roosts. So do one real low here, another one from this 2x4 to this 2x4, and then do the same thing on this side where I do them at a diagonal, so they're corner roosts. And then from each corner do one across and then another one lower, and that would expand my roost space a little bit more without having to come off of this litter base here. So if we do that, of course I'll show you guys the video on how we fix our roost, because that we absolutely have to add more roost space in here with all the little babies getting bigger. They're going to be coming out with the big girls pretty soon, I am sure. So that's another thing that I would change. So another thing that I would change in this coop is I would have lifted the door for them a little bit higher so that I wouldn't have this mess when closing the door, because the way we built this door is it slides between two wood pieces here so that the door can't be pushed in by predators, and then there's a little lip here that the door closes into, and it prevents the door from being pushed inward. However, with it being so close to the ground, we get this mess that I have to clean out all the time. So in hindsight, I would have lifted the door up a little bit off of the ground, still done the same concept, but had it a little bit higher up. That way I don't have this to deal with. And then the same thing with the brooder over here. The doors are so close to the ground that the bedding gets in the way, and I have to kick it out of the way all the time. So in hindsight, I would have lifted this up a little bit higher, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 inches, so that the door isn't getting blocked by all of the bedding on the ground. So let's go ahead outside and let me show you the run situation and some things that I would preferably change out there as well. Okay, so outside, this is the front half of our chicken run. And then this is just an old piece of fence panel that we repurposed. And then inside our run is pretty big. It goes all the way back behind the tree, around, and all the way down. So they have a pretty big space to move around. I think at some point I would really like to enclose from the chicken coop all the way down. So have this like a roofed and enclosed run, and then have this back area just to open. And then that way it gives them a fully protected, dry place to be out of the weather. I can put their food and their water in this enclosed space. But for right now, we just have it covered with bird netting on the one side. That way, because we have a lot of hawks around here, so I don't want hawks getting them. And then this back half is open because we've got this big tree that kept dropping branches on the netting. So it's all open in the back here. But they do have this safe place that's covered with bird netting. Now, about a year and a half ago, we had ducks, and this was like a duck pond back here, and we had their duck hutch on the back side of the chicken coop. However, now I'm using it as
storage.
Just storage. So it's just an open spot that I put extra bedding, sand for the roosting shelf. But what I'd really like to do with this is update it so it's a little bit easier to access. I want to put the concrete pavers all the way around so I have a not so muddy spot to walk in. And then I'm going to have my husband help me fix the roof so that the roof lifts up on hydraulics and the front folds down. So I can have 2 garbage cans in there for food. I can keep hay or straw in there along with bedding and other things that I need to store for the coop. And then over on this side, I'm going to clean this out and put the concrete pavers here as well. And I'm going to put a new waterer here, which I'll be making a video for you guys on how to make a
Trash can waterer.
yes, a trash can waterer. Thank you, Nikolai. So that's going to go here. in the future. So yeah, that is our chicken coop tour. Hi girls. Here's all of our lovely ladies.
Mom, you forgot to tell them that a couple of times the chickens climb up this ladder all the way and then jump into the B part of the tree.
Yep. Okay, so we do have like some stuff for them to play in. An old ladder, some logs, another old ladder over here. They like to climb up the ladder and get into this nook in the tree.
And that
Silly
is also
chickens.
that is also a safe place for them to hide from predators.
They like to take dust baths around the bottom of the tree here.
That's why they're
And they're really enjoying all of the grasses that we've put in here. As you can see, they're digging in little patches for bugs and dusting themselves and all of that stuff. I do have some grass boxes in here. I do need to add a couple more of those. That way they have access to grass all the time, because grass just does not grow where they're walking. So that's something that I'm going to be adding in here as well, is some grass boxes. And then I would like to figure out how to grow my own fodder for them. In another video, I'm going to show you guys how I make this gravity-fed 5-gallon bucket feeder, my winter watering solution, and yeah, so those are some videos you guys can look forward to.
Hey, Mom.
And then these are the chicken garden boxes, so I'm excited to plant those. Be sure to check out videos in the future on how those are doing. My lovely ladies following me. Alright guys, so while we have you out here at the chicken coop, we wanted to give you a little bit of an update on Tweety. A couple of videos ago, you saw my attempts at treating her leg issue that she had, and unfortunately, you have to make some hard decisions for your animals sometimes, and she just was not improving. Her leg was getting worse. It was almost completely facing backwards, and she wasn't able to walk properly or get to her food or water easily, and it just wasn't looking good. I had considered possibly amputating that leg and letting her be just a one-leg chicken for the rest of her life, but at the same time I thought she's gonna be with 27 other chickens and quite possibly a rooster, and the last thing that she needs is being picked on by all of those other chickens.
Including the 2 roosters.
Well, including, we think we might have a rooster or 2 in our new chicks. So yeah, we just figured in the long run it would not be a good quality of life for her either way, and so we made the big decision to put her down. We had another crazy chicken lady friend help us out with that. We used a method called cervical dislocation. It's quick, it's painless, and it's humane, so that is the route that we went with about a week ago. So she is now buried underneath our lilac with all of our other chicks that have passed away in the past.
Included with Skyla.
Yep, including our cat Skyla. And so, yeah,
Skyla had cancer.
She did have cancer. That was a long time ago though, so. So yeah, that is the update on Tweety. Unfortunately, this is part of raising animals and having a farm, and these tough decisions, they happen.
I cried pretty much all night.
Mommy cried too. It was hard, but we made it through, and we think overall it was the best decision for Tweety in the long run. So I just wanted to let you guys know, because we did have a video on how we were attempting to treat her and the results of that, and this is how it ended, unfortunately. So thanks so much for tuning in and watching Tweety's videos and watching this update on a happier note, thank you so much for joining us on our chicken coop tour today. Be sure to watch for updated videos on how we do our roost and the trash can waterer that's coming up, as well as some new feed buckets that we're going to be doing. So be sure to look out for those. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to grow where you're planted.
We